this module, in fact, we will derive some principles. We have derived them from different disciplines. We started with, in the beginning of the course, we started with sociolinguistics. Then we came to anthropology, then to sociology, and after all these points of views taken from these different disciplines, we have derived principles to have a general understanding of what is gender and what is its relationship with language. The first principle is that gender is learned. It is something learned directly or indirectly, and this learning process is continuous. Second principle is that gender is sometimes taught. We are explicitly or directly told that behave like a boy, behave like a good girl, and this happens through formal ways, through education, through curriculum. We call it collaborative principle of gender. We are taught which behavior, which dress, way of talking is suitable for a boy or for a girl. Gender is not developed in isolation. We are now trying to understand how is it collaborative. Gender is not developed in isolation, rather through interactions, what we have called social markets, and what we have called community of practices, what we have called peer cultures in different disciplines which we have discussed. And through interactions, we are exposed to new social orders. We learn gender norms mostly indirectly and unconsciously, because gender development takes place in interactions. This is a collaborative environment. This is how gender development becomes collaborative. So during these interactions, indirectly, we internalize what gender is. So it is learned indirectly and unconsciously most of the time. It is gender responses of others that teach us this is good for men, this is good for women. These activities and these roles are good for boys and these are good for females. So when we interact with people, their responses to our behavior, to our talk, to our hairstyles, to our habits, their response would teach us indirectly how we should behave. We are separately grouped into sport teams. We are separately seated. See how responses are given during interactions. Sometimes this is taught indirectly when we are separated into separate teams in sports. We are separately seated in transport. We are separate in shopping days. Here, in Lahore, we have, for example, Emporium. There is a day just for families and females. No male can enter without family. So we learn what to do, where, and how as men and women through this collaborative interaction. And this happens indirectly. It means that gender is not sex. Sex is part of gender. It is what men and women do. So there are two levels of gender, or two parts of this category of gender. One part is biological and natural, that is our sex. We can't change it. And the other part is cultural and social. This is what develops through interactions. And therefore, here we are saying that gender is not our sex. It is, in this context of talk, it is what men do and what women do. It is our performance. So gender is sometimes defined as performance or performativity. And you know, performance is social action. So here gender means social action, social activities. And we already have talked about it with reference to Vygotsky, if you remember. He says that our identity, our gender is defined by our activities. Now, the fourth principle of gender development is that gender is asymmetrical. Now, you may be looking at clearly that all these principles somehow are linked with some discipline that we have talked about. Asymmetry, in some roles males are more important, and in others female are more important. In some roles men are more powerful, in others women are more powerful. For example, as husband and father, men are more prominent, more powerful, authoritative, and as wives and mothers, female are superior. Now see, all these four principles working together make up what we call gender. Here is a task for you so that you relate these things with something practical. You have studied four principles of gender. Can you think of any other principle keeping in view Pakistani culture? Because these principles are derived by Western authors from their point of view. So we have a separate culture, separate norms and conventions and ideology. Do you think there can be a fifth principle, sixth principle of gender development? So that would be your understanding of what do we mean by principles of gender development.